Excuse me. I broke out the Les Paul. Hey, everyone. So really quickly, we'll get right down to it. Now, you probably noticed there wasn't a it's a great guitar. Hey, Marcel. Good to see you. So good to see you. Hey, Don. For anyone in the live replay, this is gonna be a very uh, I'm going to be engaging with the subscribers here, and you can't see their chat, and I apologize. But there was no Stitch Method video this week because you can't see it because I have new skin on it. But I slaughtered my first finger and took hey Joe, Joe, we have to talk. And I took all the skin off this like finger here, and I couldn't even hold the pick or bend it. You can probably see how it's like scamming up there. I don't want to gross you out. I should have put a band-aid on it, but this stuff happens in real life. It prevents you from playing guitar. So really quickly, we're going to go over something, and I'm going to have welcome everyone. So really quickly, I have a student, and his name is Joseph. Now, Joseph, every watcher, you're going to see him. Joseph, do me a favor, say, "Hey, Ian," and I'm going to point you out. Don't let it's okay. Your heart's pounding. Nobody can see you, but wait for Joseph to say hi. I'm waiting. I know he's watching, and he's smiling. No pain, no gain. Let's see. Oh, where's? Come on, Joseph. Don't let me down. He'll be there. He probably dropped his phone. He's so excited I called him. Anyway, so he's my student. There he is. There's Joe. Right there. That Joseph right there. All right, so I teach Joseph on Mondays. Great student. We're working on some Chris Stapleton stuff. And let me tell you, Chris Stapleton, man, that guy can write an awesome song. And I'm going to start a series on my live feeds about what is Joe learning. Because Joe learns awesome, tasty things. And he's a true guitar student. He has a lot of questions about how things work, and like his questions seem to jive with people who are in the same boat. But today, I'm kind of announcing on my live themes. How can we get live lessons with Ian? You can email me at stitchmethod@gmail. But I have a huge list of people waiting. I'm not trying to sound. I'm trying to figure out a way to do it. Like I'm really trying to figure out a way I could teach like 500 people one time live. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm kind of doing it right now. So I will be starting occasionally on my live feed a section called "What is Joe Learning?" Hey Kevin. So this isn't what Joe is learning, but I want to give this what I'm about to give to you, all of you guys, to see how well like your litmus test is with how well you can handle your riffs with momentum. So now I want to talk riffs with momentum are important to you as a guitar player to help you get that right hand momentum going for timing. Now there are plenty of riffs that have this type of mentality or playing. And what I mean by it, just to show you, is riffs that have a repeating kind of right hand structure, and it's the flow of it. Hey Bill, what's up, Bill? And saying hi to everyone. So I'm going to go over a couple riffs due to practice. Now I'm not going to teach them all in depth, but I want you guys, if you like any of them, to try and master it and realize that the right hand is the key to all of this. Okay. Hey Neil, I'm sorry, I'm reading all the comments. What's up, Ian? I love your channels, teaching methods. Thank you. Been hooked for the last 2 weeks. Thank you so much. No problem, Neil. No problem. Thank you. So, man, this finger really hurts. I shredded this thing like crazy. Okay, so let's get to it. So, so here we go. So I'm going to show you. There's a couple of riffs. Let's see if we can name them. First riff that has momentum to it, with the right hand, has a feel, it has a pocket, and these are important because thank you, Acoustic Remedy. I want to say this. In the world we hear the saying, timing is everything. Timing is everything, and that's the truth. Timing is everything, especially when it comes to guitar playing. Okay, sorry, I just got an email. Hopefully my phone didn't buzz. And what you want to try doing is being able to play a song without a drummer and feel that right hand kind of being the drummer. And what I mean by this is let's see, I'm sure some of you will know the song. First example. Okay, so what song was that? That's a great riff for everyone just to start practicing so the right hand can take the momentum and push the left hand into place. And that's the dynamic. There we go. Tweezer by my favorite band, Fish. Okay, Tweezer. It has a really nice flow to it. It's perpetual in motion. You can sit and play that all day long. Okay, so Tweezer by Fish, and so again, I'm not going to teach you all this, but there's plenty of tabs or videos on YouTube by some great teachers who show you how to play note for note stuff. And so Tweezer has this right hand momentum. Boom, riff number 1. Riff number 2 that I'm going to say to you. Let me see if I remember my riff number 2. Here we go. So now here's riff number 2. This one that all you guys are going to know, but this is a great momentum riff, okay? is... Okay, so what song is that? Let's see. There we go. You're on it. Misty Mountain Hop by Led Zeppelin. It's just a nasty riff, and you hear, like, you can hear that beat fall into place. Like 1, 2, 3, and now let's talk about riffs with momentum, and this is what I want to talk about. Yeah, Marcel, that's right. I think we did that. All right, so let's talk about why. Love for Fish Chicks. You got to make it somewhere, right? I didn't put in the lotto yet. I actually have to look at all those tour dates. I've been way behind in everything. All right, so now. Here's the deal, is why I'm telling you to do this. That's in the key of D, by the way. Misty Mountain Hop, key of D. But anyway, so this right hand is going to have a flow. And if you watch, like, where the beat hits, and this is, again, I wish I can go through every riff, but this is the concept, is your right hand's keeping this kind of, like, metronome feel, and where the beat hits is going to determine whether or not you have a down pick or an up pick, and you're gonna keep on keeping that hand moving. If you watch, like, so there we go. Oh, no, it doesn't matter. I'm just closing my right hand. Sorry, somebody asked, like, close your right, closed hand or open hand. Yeah, I just closed it so you can see it. But if you watch, like, 2, you know, you can get this down, 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 up, down, up. It's the right hand momentum that's determining the picking factor. And, okay, so somebody asked really quickly, can you explain why that's in the key of D? Absolutely, because it's going from an A to a G, and it holds on the E, but the chords are, I really don't know what time it was. The chords it's based around is D, G, and A. D, G, and A, which is the 1, 4, and 5 in D. So I'm packing the bags from a misty mountain. So it's really going around D, G, and A, which is in the key of D, D major. Okay, so anyway, all right, so let's keep going. Now, I had a 4th riff. I mean, I know I'm on my 3rd riff coming up, but I had a 4th riff I want to discuss with you. Doesn't matter. Okay, so this next riff that you want to learn, and I mean learn it well, and it's a riff that, like, some of you, okay, there's a lot of people here. I'd say, I'm going to say 30% of you are going to be like, I want to know that riff, and the other people are going to be like, whatever. But what you want to do is, I'm going to show you this riff. This riff has a lot of, like, spectacular technique to it. Whether you like this riff or not, I'm letting you know to practice the technique of this, you know, silently in your room if you don't want to play it loudly. 2 things. Number 1, actually, I'm going to play part 2 first. Let's see who can identify this. Hey, Sean. Yes, dude, Drew, Julia. Hey, man, how you been, Drew? Dude, that was great, man. Walk This Way, you guys got it. Okay, so Walk This Way is a sinister good riff to practice if you want to get the right hand timing. You see how fast the right hand moves like a metronome. And also, before we get there, definitely Dragonfly. This part here, really quickly, that's not a momentum riff, but Joe Perry first of all plays it with his first finger and climbs up, and what's really spectacular about this riff is the amount of muting that's going on to keep that riff staccato. You hear it's not like, it ain't that, buddies, it's, if you see my wrist bouncing on those strings to mute that. That's hard in itself to get like that pristine type of choking. But let's get to Walk This Way, the riff. Now, really quickly, you guys can see how this is a blues infused riff. It has that that's. Welcome, Tom Reed. Finally, you made it to a live stream. Fantastic. Okay, you can hear how this is like. Okay, so now let's check this out. Is if you keep your right hand moving in one E, like one E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4, you just play. You know, like you can play that riff and you can hear how it will fit. But now let's go over the exact notes. What's up, Jim? Boom, 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 and then pinky goes. So it's oh my God, 8, 10, 12, D string, 10 on the A. 8 on the D, 12 on the A. Now, if you want to practice, really, what's really cool about this is they're playing off the like that 6 shuffle, like 1, 5, 6, and 5 and 6, and they're putting in the flat 7 right there on the D string of the 7th chord. So you got this blues like 6 shuffle, boom, 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 1, 5, 6. You got your octave, your 1, back to your 5, flat 7, and then back to the 6. Beautiful effing riff. And now again, you know, if you I'm going to slow this down, but you can see how my hand keeps going. Hey, Hans. You want me to do like that, buddy? You gotta remember, you can stretch your pinky out, but I like doing because it's awesome. You can stretch your pinky out. Hans 36, he's always giving me some crap, but I love the man. I love the man. Here we go. Boom, 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 bam, boom. If you want to, boom, boom. You can get that 13th fret, but that is a stretch. So, I love the color of your earphone. Thank you. Okay, there we go. So now, keeping that right hand moving. Boom, 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 boom. Momentum. Keep it going. So now, riffs with momentum are very, very, very important to practice because you can hop on the rhythm train. You don't need a drummer. You don't need spacing. It's continuous. And you definitely want to practice playing by yourself and seeing if you can feel that thing going. So the riffs we have, Tweezer by Fish. Misty Mountain Hop. There we go. And now, and then also the rhythm part to sorry. You're a good man too, Hans. I love your back and forth banter in a good way. And then you have Walk This Way. Boom, 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 boom. So really get on that. Or for Hans, boom, 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 the extra stretch. But keeping your hands moving is very important. So now, with that being said, would the riff from Black Dog be an example? No, even though it has a lot of speed to it because there's a lot of breaks there. Boom, 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 boom. You got to hang there. Boom, 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 boom. A lot of rhythm changes, but I think that part. That part. Definitely, that's a good riff. Oh, of course, yes. What about? It's so funny. Everybody says, "What about rock and roll?" Rock and roll, absolutely. That's a momentum riff because that's based on. Hold on. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, rock and roll. Yeah, that's a good momentum riff right there. Okay, so anyway, let's open the floor up to some Q&A, question debate, question answers. Crossroads, right? Let's see, is Crossroads a good example of momentum riff? Yeah. Oh, oh, Sean Daniel. Yeah, I think I played this song wrong. Let's see. Take care, Joe. Oh man, what? Hold on, no. That's it. That's the last solo I got. But anyway, man, I was so pissed about that. That's a good little effing thing right there. Yeah, Celebration Day would be really boom, man. Yeah, that's a good. Celebration Day. I forgot to play it, but it's got that driving like something like totally forgot to play it, but yes, it has that. Oh no, Sean. Me and the 5/4. We don't get along. Me and the 5/4. Sean, it's so funny. Sean wrote a song in 5/4, and I'm used to like 4/4, 3/4, 6/4, and then 4/6. Yeah, boom, 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 boom. But he wrote a song in 5/4, and this is a while ago when I recorded the solo. You might have seen me dangling from a hot air balloon in the video, and like. He's like, I just need you to come over and record a solo. I was like, yeah, okay, great. And he put it on. I'm like listening. And I'm like, my brain had been so programmed for like Chicago blues and Texas blues and Norwegian wood 3/4 and 6/8 and all that stuff. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh, I can't even find the downbeat. And he had to sit and like click with me. And finally, as soon as I got it, I think I put a pretty good solo down on your track, Sean. Yes, I mean I was very proud of that. So anyway, so now whipping post tomorrow. Great. Okay, Don's gonna come in with whipping post tomorrow at the studio. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, Sean. And then after Don does, we do whipping post. I'll turn into a Stitch Method video so you can thank me. Hashtag. I was about to say hashtag Me Too, Don, but no. Jeez. Hashtag Thanks, Don. Starts in tune. Let's put the distortion off. Anyway, so what other kind of questions do we have here? What other kind of questions we got? Hey, Robert. You left a comment recently, Robert. It was a nice comment. Let's see. Oh, what does lead player? Okay. What does lead player play when not soloing? I'm slowly switching from rhythm to lead due to weird hand injury, and it's going slow. Okay, so the question is nice, Sean. What does a lead player play? They play rhythm, but the thing is like obviously they play rhythm, but in terms of like, I'll do this in terms of my pockets are so full of crap. Like Jerry Garcia or Trey Anastasio, or even Stevie Ray, or actually anyone. What's going to happen is lead guitar players. It's a great question, and it's kind of like the answer I'm going to give is going to make sense, but you got to practice on your own. Lead guitar player, when they're on stage playing a solo, is the focus of the energy. I mean, everyone's watching them, everyone's listening, and your job is to lead away. And then if you start singing and you start playing some chords, you have to realize that band is still behind you. Like, there's still going to be a drummer, there might be another guitar player, there might be a piano player, bass player, you might have a harp, I don't know. But, the thing is what you want to practice doing is, practice your rhythm, just sitting there practicing. But what I would say, when he's on the stage with the groupies, is my most important thing for you is if you're playing rhythm with a band and you're used to playing solo, take your bar chords, any bar chords, and don't play the thickest notes. Turn them into like lighter chords so that the rest of the band has a role. You know, bass players hate when we do this because that note is in their range. So if you notice inversions, exactly, or different voicings, you know, when you're playing. Okay, so when you're, hold on, I'll come back to that. But when you're playing chords, try playing the notes on the lighter strings. Try to take your, did I just rip this thing out of tune? I probably did. Try to take your chords and not make them thick, make them thinner, so they float with the rest of the musicians, and that's it right there. Yes, like Lido. Yeah, there you go. See, thank you, Kevin. Santana does that. Exactly. I knew that. It's funny. I was gonna open up. Let's see. Any dead fit in here? Foolish Heart, maybe. Momentum. Foolish Heart. Ooh, Jared, that's a good. By the way, Jared, you realize that you got the comment of the year, right? When you commented on the Wind Cries Mary. Oh my God, this wound is killing me. Yeah, I sliced my finger open. For anyone who doesn't know. How come? Wait. How do you come to have your knowledge and theory? Are you completely self-taught just as a hobby? Yeah, yeah. What happened was, and I mean, like, everyone knows I had a revelation story, but I'll get a little deeper into it. So, I'm a logic. I'm a fan of logic. I'm a fan of science. I'm a fan of mathematics. And so, when I was studying guitar and things that make sense, you know, there is this belief that people are attached. Thank you, Dishonor. Even though that was a very nice comment. There's a belief that, like, you know, these people are better than us and they are attached to some sort of spiritual being. And I've always said to myself in some sort of way, like, I always felt crushed, like, just crushed when I would go to concerts and, like, these guitar players would blow my mind. And I knew it had to be a logical explanation. Like, I knew it had to have a logical sense to it. It had to. These people look so calm and cool and collected, and I knew it was years of practicing, but at the same time, like, there was some, they're human, right? These guys are human, all of his favorite musicians. So when I had this revelation of how guitar works with scales and chord tones and everything, the reason that I knew it was right was because it was the most easiest concept to understand logically. Like, and again, like, you guys have been watching Stitch Method, and hopefully you do enjoy the logical sense that I give to it. But that's how I see it. And once I kind of like started developing, like, could it be this easy? Could it be like this? And I started like slowly testing the waters with different types of songs and everything. It became more of, yeah, this is a very logical approach, and I kind of just started to discover everything on my own. Like, well, you know, if the band's playing an A chord, how about an A scale? If the band is playing in like an E minor, how about an E minor? You know, and things started to make sense logically. And I never really picked up a book or anything. I just sat with my guitar and I sat on the couch at 2 a.m, just playing and coming up with ideas and testing them through songs. Actually, you know what? Here, I'll play something for you. Playing without knowing music theory is the longest and most difficult way to learn music. It is. You can never know too much. This is the Epiphone, but I do have my Gibson. But I mean, I'm going to prefer the Gibson. So one of the first things I realized what was how important chord tones were. So I wrote this kind of like stupid chord progression, and here I'll show you. Let's see, kind of based off of Pearl Jam, and this is, oh my God, it's like 11 years ago. I'm playing it still on. And I said, well, you know, if this works, then I should be able to break down. One of my first discoveries was how important chord tones were, arpeggios, all this stuff to your melody. So yeah, I mean, I just sat and just played E minor, G, D, and A. I wasn't trying to be live. I think it's an E, but I just laid those chords down. I said, okay. So what I did is, if you remember, this has probably been asked before, but how do you hold your guitar in that position? Okay, without a strap. Okay, look, ready, guys? See my leg? See the leg? The leg. It's on my leg. It's just like that. I use an L-shaped cord so that I don't snap it off, put it on my leg, and I come down. That's the last junk shot of Stitch you'll get. Okay, so now, so that's it. And I kind of hold it with my beefy arms. Ta-da! Ta-da! Okay, so I have legs, right? Okay, so really quickly, just to show you, what one of my revelations that I had was how important chord tones, or take care, man, or how important it is to try and break your chords into like a Kit Kat. You know, think about a Kit Kat, right? You know, give me a break. And if you have a chord and you know the bass player and the and the piano players are playing the Kit Kats, right? But you as a lead guitar player are breaking the Kit Kats off and throwing them one at a time into the audience. So that E minor, you know, E minor, G, D, and A, it's very hard to explain, but here's, you know, here's an E minor chord, cage minor, E minor. You know, this is straight up from the video I had 2 weeks ago. And so I started like you know, going through the arpeggios and playing a G arpeggio, D arpeggio, and then I have this little thing I started playing like. Once I developed that riff, once I developed that, I was like, oh crap, that was pretty awesome. So the logic, like I started to trust my logic in how I saw music, because I'd been frustrated for 20 years and it finally started making sense. And if it came across anything like where it didn't make sense, I'd back up and say, well, I'm against the wall, maybe I'm wrong, and then I started trying to find the next logical, one step at a time, the next logical step, and then I would test it out with something I'd write on guitar. You know, yeah. So that is a cool riff, right? Let's see. There's a. Oh God. Yeah, I mean, and I like that riff a lot, and that's fun. So anyway, so what I would do is every time I had a musical revelation or some sort of some sort of like idea, I would sit and write songs. Now, is Sean with me? Is Sean there? Let's see, because Sean would know about this. Oh yeah, Sean has a great lesson in slow. Okay, Sean, you have a great lesson in slow dancing in Burn Room. So now, Sean was here. This is like 4 or 5 years ago. I was going to do a remake of Moonlight, Midnight Moonlight. Okay, and no, I don't perform it, but I'm really thinking about it. I just gotta get a time band. I gotta teach 500 people one time. I gotta get a band. I was gonna make a remake of Midnight Moonlight, and I'm gonna screw this up terribly, and you're gonna see me. You remember, yeah? And so here's the chord progression. Let's see if I can remember it. Okay, so now, give me 1 second, so you can hear this. So that was a little bit of Midnight Moonlight, and I'm gonna turn this down. Okay, so now, I wanted to give it a cool like musical interlude. So you had A to the E, to B minor to E, and a D and a G. And if you want to see how effective, a cage chord system can be, if you want to see how effective a cage chord system can be, Sean watched it happen. Like Sean watched, okay, sorry, Los Jefes would be good, world tour. Sean watched this happen in real time. Like I was writing these arpeggio lines. I'm gonna screw this up, but here's my musical interlude that I wrote years ago, which never did anything, but here we go. My God. Here we go. I mean, it probably sounded better if it had a better tone, but it had such a good vibe to it. And again, I was like, oh my god, chord tones and cage system and all this fun stuff. So anyway, you hit any fish shows? No, I'm not. It sounds like Eyes on a Crazy Trip. It is. Can you play Ramble On? I haven't played Ramble On in a while. I know I play it wrong. I can play it, but I play it wrong. I learned I learned Ramble On 20 effing years ago. Hey, John. Well, it's not really finger picking. It's kind of like crab. It wasn't hard. Hans, did I get a compliment from you, Hans? Because if you did, I'm gonna cry if I got a compliment from Hans right there. I'll play it again because I don't think. But you're back. Joseph's back. Okay, here we go. I played it wrong. I learned it when Ultimate Guitar was literally like, oh my god, like 4 days old, and they had you know. You know, this is how it was. I never looked back. I know it's wrong. But yeah, so there's that. So one more time. Sorry, speaking of tone, how do you like the humbuckers? I'm a humbucker boy. Hey, Clay, thank you so much. Let's see. Oh, close enough. Thank you. So yeah, I'll play it without the backing track, that Midnight Moonlight. So that's that. So, that's pretty much it. I gotta get going in a couple minutes because I have to. Sweetie, are you there? Do we have to still make the kids' lunches? Yeah, okay. So I gotta make my kids' lunches and stuff. But this has been good. So start off with how much music theory is too much music theory? That's a great question. There's no such thing as too much music theory, but you have to like reel it in when you're playing live. Like you just have to reel it in. It's weird. I was driving the other day. That's not the weird part. I drive all the time, but I was driving and I was really debating the word theory, like music theory. It's not music science. It's not the music rule. It's theory. It's loose. It's an interpretation, and so it works, but the missing element, like if you can't write a song based purely on theory. You just can't do it. The missing element, which is like at least 50%, if not more, is like the human element. So it's music theory is how to give your intent sound and direction. It's music theory only exists in books and in your mind, and you have to power through it with an idea, with an expression, with a hum, with a beat, with something, and then that starts buckling through the waves of music theory, and then things start to blossom. But don't use theory to write. Use it as a tool to help you expand your ideas, move in directions, know where to go, talk to fellow musicians. But there are plenty of people who know basic chords and can write a damn good song without any theory because they know the chords go together and they just play. So, no. Anyway, sorry, the theory is the science, music, yeah, is the art, yeah. Hi, and could you give us a beginner insight to arpeggios? I can. I have a different, I have a different feeling on arpeggios than a lot of people, but I can definitely do that. I still have all the music planned. Yeah, but like for those of you who didn't know, you can't. I don't get too close and gross you out, but I shredded my finger, man. I really shredded my finger, and I can't. It's very hard for me to bend. Yeah. So anyway, so that's that. Oh, what did Cheddar? What did Maria say? Such a nice name, Maria, and she's banned. Okay. Which scale would be used on the G to A vamp in the end of Midnight Moonlight? Oh, okay. So hold on. Quick question. Let's do this. Let's do this. Ready? What scale would be used in the G to A vamp? Anyone? G to A, vamp. Is that fun? Let's see. If that's a vamp, I can't remember the. D major. There it is. D major. Because G and A are the 4 and 5 of D. So let's see. D works fine. Sorry, I don't know why this turned into like a Mixolydian fish jam. Anyway, so guys, I gotta go. It's been 35 minutes. My God, that went by really quickly. Thank you all so much for being here. Go practice your riffs with momentum. You know, in the description box, I mean, in the comments, you know, write your favorite riffs that have momentum. Keep your right hand moving so that you know you can jam. And then A Mixolydian, right? D major, A Mixolydian, same thing. Hans, I'll give you a high five. Can we give each other a high five, Hans? My new best friend. So I know they just got here and we gotta go, but listen, all of you, thank you so much for being here. As soon as this thing heals and I can really bend my finger, I'll start making some more videos. But I was putting a vacuum together and that thing bit my finger. So I feel so bad, but this thing hurts. So anyway, all right, guys, have a great night. Thank you again. Thank you. I'll see you all next Thursday around 7:30. Maybe a surprise. Morning time thing. Or rock and roll, guys. Bye bye.